Love. It's a 4-letter word, and every year on February 14th, we take a look at this 4-letter word and what it means to us. Is it about the people we care about? Is it about the people we love and hang out with? Or is it about a specific someone who we still haven't talked to and still haven't shared our affection with them? It's just a 4-letter word. But when it comes to automobiles, why do we love them indeed? And that is something we should talk about today on our special Valentine's Day edition of the AutoLooks podcast. AutoLooks.net Autopod, streaming day or night, coming right at you, right here, right now. Welcome back to the AutoLooks podcast. I am your host, as always, the doctor to the automotive industry, Mr. Everett J, coming to you from our host site, podbeam.com, or our main website, AutoLooks.net. If you're looking for all of our podcasts, tidbit shows, vehicle ratings, or corporate websites from around the globe, please check out AutoLooks.net and support us. Like, share, or comment on any of the magical feeds below or attached to our website. Thank you. And today we are talking about that 4-letter word. Today, February 14th, is that day. It's that day we talk about this 4-letter word. And that little flying guy named Cupid just hits us all in the butt with a magical arrow and expects us to love something. Well, not all of us are so successful in love, and not all of us can even find true love. Yes. But when it comes to myself and a lot of other automotive enthusiasts out there, we have to ask ourselves, why do we love cars so much? Seriously, why do you love cars so much? I know why I love cars. I fell in love with them at a young age because they were fun to play with as toys. And from there, I got into seeing them. And seeing them in real life just inspired me. It caused major inspiration. And if you look back through one of our podcasts from before, Automotive Inspiration, you can kind of see where that love affair comes from. Inspiration. But that was brought upon family member. Now, I love my dad, but, that inspiration of seeing that car, was it what gave me my true love for vehicles, my fascination with them, my wanting to be a part of this industry and wanting to be able to drive or see or sit in every single one of them out there. What made me truly love them? Not in a sexual content, which is something sexual with cars. You got to think about it. Some designs give you the opinion of being sexy. And no, we're not talking about our former podcast, Sexy Tesla, considering the fact that they spelt out sexy with the letter number coordination of their vehicles. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the nice, flowing, sleek lines of a Ferrari. It's sexy. It looks like a supermodel. It embodies the soul of a supermodel to the people who want it. As myself a man, I look at it and think it is one attractive female that, yes, is exotic, is great, is sexy. And I love it. I just love it. But I love it based on appearance only. That's like seeing somebody online and saying, oh, I truly just love that person. And then you meet them. You don't love their soul. You just love their attraction to them. So is that what attracted you to vehicles? Is that why you love cars? Because your attraction to them, to the colors, to the accessories, to the outline, to the design. Hell, us at AutoLooks base ourselves off of automotive design. We love the design aspect of the automotive world. That's what we truly love. That's what AutoLooks.net loves. It loves designs. That's why we rate over 500 cars every single year on our massive rating system to find out which car is the best looking. Which one do we love the most? Which one is sexy out of the design standpoint in the world? Not saying that we're going to fall in love with it, but there are certain cars that people have fallen in love with. How many people fell in love with the original concept of the Chevrolet Corvette? How many people wanted a Corvette in their driveway? They loved it. They looked at it. They saw it. They wanted it. It was more important to them than meeting that special someone they spend the rest of their life with. They loved it. And why did they love it? Because it looked good. They were attracted to it. Or maybe it inspired them. Not everybody who has their love affair with vehicles comes from inspiration or attraction. It comes from being in it. How many of you out there love cars because of their power source? And I know we're moving into either a hydrogen or electric future, but how many people out there right now can say that they love cars because of their power? Because they go fast. Because they allow you to do things that you can't do on your feet. It's a car. We love it. But why do we love it? it. We love it because it's got power. The first time my dad opened up his 351 V8 Cleveland in his 70 Mustang Grande, I fell in love with that sound. The summer I had a rental, a Dodge Durango RT, my son loved it. Every single time I got out and passed people, he fell in love with that sound of the Big 8. I love that. We love that sound. It may not mean you're truly in love with vehicles, but some people do love the sights and sounds of vehicles. Like we said, some people are attracted to vehicles only based off of their exterior looks. You may not care what's under the hood. You may not care what mark is attached to it. You may not even care what quality it sits under. You just see it and say, I love it. I love that design. You know, that was myself when I saw the original 1989 concept for the Dodge Viper. I fell in love with that car. The only thing that ever even came close to that back in those days was seeing the pin-up centerfold of Pamela Anderson. Yes, that kind of dates myself that I was into Pam, and sort of say that, yes, I still have her posters from the very first Playboy I ever bought too. But fell in love with that car. Even though it's horribly expensive to operate, it's wildly crazy with its balls deep power, and there's barely any features. The original Targa top had issues. It would leak, it would get hot, you'd burn your legs. Like, there's so many things to hate about the vehicle, but seeing the outside of it, you just love its design. Now, how about some other people out there that get inspired? They love the inspiration of the automobiles. They love the technology that goes behind it. Autonomous technology coming out. How many people love the tech side of cars? We love it too. Yes, you may not love the fact that we're going to lose internal combustion engines within the next 30 years, but you still love the fact that you can now make a phone call from the inside of your vehicle. You can get a shiatsu massage in the back of either a luxury sedan or, in some cases, minivans. You love the features. How many parents out there love having a shop vac in their minivan to clean up unwanted messes that your kids have caused in the back? We love it. You may not love the look of your minivan. You may not love the company the minivan comes from, but you love the features of that minivan, and that's why you bought it, because you loved that portion of it. Then you get into the people that love the quality. How many people out there will only buy specific cars from specific companies based off of quality only? I had an uncle and aunt, that's why they bought their Honda CR-V, because how highly it was rated. Sure, in the design sense, that CR-V, second generation CR-V, was not a top marks for design, but for quality, it was top marks. It was one of those things, you just love the quality of it, which means you knew you were going to love the car and the company behind it. When usually it's with quality, you love the company behind it. But that case isn't always the same. I love my dad's Mustang, and I love it that someday it will be mine. And I love the sound of that 351 Cleveland. But it doesn't mean I'm a dedicated Ford person. I don't love Ford products. But where does love from a car company come from? It comes from being in it, seeing its designs. Back in the 90s, I loved Dodge because they pushed themselves to the envelope in automotive design. They went over and above when they came back from the brink of bankruptcy to create some of the most amazing designs and head-turning outlines of the 1990s. And that's why I loved it. I loved that company. I don't love it now because now, as per AutoLooks, we go by design, and we, as I say to myself, I am the doctor of the auto industry. I don't love it because of the corporate entities behind them since the late 90s. That can also make you love a vehicle. You can love a car company because of how good it is to the world. How many people fell in love with Tesla? Even though so many things of it can cause you to hate it, inclusive of some people not liking their main head honcho, Elon Musk. Some people may not like him, but you fell in love with that Tesla. Why? Because it was trying to change the world. It was a pinnacle vehicle that made you want to see change. They were going after the ability to change the environment around them for the better. So maybe that's why you love that car company, because of the stuff that goes behind it. How many people right now turn their backs on General Motors 10 years ago when they went through their bankruptcy, looking at them as, you're a failure, you have so many divisions, and you're just trying to exploit people. And now they're turning themselves around with this massive investment into the future of mobility. Do you love them now? I knew so many people that were diehard fans, and I asked them, why were you such diehard fans? Well, it's because that was my first vehicle. Well, I'm sorry to say, but my first vehicle was a 5-speed 2002 Kia Rio. Did it make me love Kia? Only in one aspect did I fall in love with that car, is because of how small the 02 Rios were. Their handling was that of a go-kart. So even with only 109 horsepower in that car, I could throw it around so easily. It could whip in and out and avoid so many great things. I loved the handle and feel of it, but I did not love the badge or the quality that came with that product. So I fell in love with certain aspects of it. Sure, I still have it around today, but it's the only 5-speed I've managed to hold on to all this time. And then again, I'm getting back into technology. I love a 5-speed. I don't care if an automatic today can go faster than I could shift gears in a 5-speed. There is nothing more inclusive than that love affair between people and a stick shift. Being able to control the power of the engine that's coming out. Being able to choose and decide when I make the changes, when I shift the gears. And also having that ability that if I have problems, like my starter goes, I can just push to start it. That's why I love my 5-speed. I don't love the company or the quality, like I said, but there are a lot of other aspects about it I do love. Now, love is a definition of an intense feeling of deep attraction. How many people out there that have gone online or seen a commercial with an attractive model in it and said, oh, I love that model. They are so sexy, I would give anything to be with them. I love them. But do you truly love them, or is it just that sense of deep attraction? There's so many cars out there that even AutoLooks looks at, and we love the design of it, but it's the stuff that's underneath the hood that makes us hate the vehicle. We look at it and say, that is a vehicle I will buy and drive on occasion, but I don't want to pay to fix it because I know it's going to break down. I know it's going to have issues, and I know at the end of its warranty, it's going to become the most problematic thing that sits in my driveway. But I love looking at it. So it's a deep attraction. But deep down inside its soul, we don't love it. The other definition of love is a great interest or pleasure in something. And that is where automobiles come from. We love them. We get pleasure in seeing cars, in riding in cars, in driving in cars, in being driven around in cars. We love going to auto shows. We love going to car shows. We love watching racing. We love to be in a race car. We love racing ourselves. We love going to the strip. We love cruising. As Eazy-E said, we're going to be cruising down the street in our 6'4", because Eazy-E loved his 6'4". Does that mean he loved cars in general? No, but he loved his 6'4". because he's cruising down the street in his 6'4", because he loved it. But then again, there's the definition. People always ask me why I love cars so much. Well, I say it's one of the most expansive industries in the entire world. They get into nearly every single thing. You gotta remember, every single thing kind of merges into it. And don't say food doesn't, because soybeans are even used for foam, or in some cases, back in the day, exterior products for vehicles. Hoods on specific Ford Mustangs were built out of compressed soybeans. Yes, so even the food market, food, mining, forestry. Morgan still builds wood-framed vehicles, and that could be another love affair of you. You love watching them get built. You love the industry behind it. How many people out there are so involved with the automobile industry, but they don't give two crap about the vehicle they drive? How about investment bankers? You love the ever-expanding green market right now, so you're investing and making tons of money off of it. You love that part of the industry, and yet you take the subway to work because you don't love owning a vehicle, but you still love an aspect of it. And like I said, it hits every major industry in the world. You got financial, manufacturing, mining, technology, and anything else. It's what defined us, and it's what Henry Ford saw when he pushed the Model T out into the world and said, let's quit driving super expensive vehicles only for a select few. I want everybody in the world to have an automobile. I want everybody to have the same love I have for being mobile. I want people to love the fact that they can go from point A to point B whenever they want. They can go see their family whenever they want. They can go for a random cruise and see the sights of the world around them because we love our automobiles. And even though today a lot of people don't love their automobiles as much as they once did, that love is still there. There are still people, fans of this podcast listening right now, fans of my website, fans of the YouTube page. All of that in AutoLooks.net brings us together of our love for the automobile. And as AutoLooks.net states, we're bringing the automotive world together. Why? Because we love it. We love cars. We love the industry. And you don't get called the doctor of the auto industry without knowing the industry, without having a deep affection to every single little thing within that industry and what goes on into it. We love it. A deep down inside feeling of love. So today, when you spend time with your loved ones or loved one, or even if you're by yourself, just remember that somebody somewhere out there loves you. And even if you're all alone, remember, you can still love yourself because there's only one person out there for you, and it's you. You need to find the love inside of you and bring it out. For it's Valentine's Day. It's a day about love. It's a day about caring. And as every day, we need to treat our loved ones with the love and respect that we do on February 14th. Just remember, love can bring us so much more than hate. So from myself, Everett J, and the whole AutoLooks podcast, I ask you, what do you love about this industry? What do you love about this podcast? What do you love about cars? Seriously, ask yourself that question. It's the same question you should have when you stare into the eyes of the one you love. Why do I love them? Is it just a physical attraction? Or is there a deep down love that binds you together for all eternity? That love runs deep with me in the automobile industry. It has been there since I was 4 years old. And after 34 years, it is still there. It is still part of me. It is that attraction, that interest, that pleasure that still gives me the most. Because as an automotive enthusiast, I love this industry as much as I love the cars and the people that go along with it. And anyone that can share in that love with me, I'm glad to have them in my corner. So if you like this podcast, please like, share, or comment. And don't forget to click the bottom link on either YouTube or any of the podcast sites you are listening to this podcast through. Please follow AutoLooks.net podcast to find more inspiration from the automobile industry and to hear more from the doctor of the auto industry, Mr. Everett J. So, from myself and AutoLooks.net, I want you to strap yourself in for this fun, wild ride that only love can bring us.